What's good, folks? Welcome back to the Furnished Mind. And remember, Christ is King. Let's go. Millennial women in the U.S. are facing the first active decline in well being since World War II, with self deletions, debt, and cost of living skyrocketing. It just so happens you can kind of call it whatever you want to call it, the gender wars, or just these relationship conversations seem to just be all over the internet, social media. And guys, it just happens to be there's truth behind a lot of these conversations. Let's go ahead and just take a dive and what are some of the contributing factors? What's going on here, and why is the well-being of U.S. women declining? So for decades, young women have seen steep improvements in their well-being and future prospects, but that appears to be coming to an end. A report by the Washington, D.C.-based think tank revealed progress for the group is reversed for the first time since the 1930s. Let's keep that in mind. Researchers at the Population Reference Bureau found that the well-being index for millennial women declined to 94 out of 100 for millennials, a 6% drop from the previous group, and the first since the silent generation reported a score of 45. And the silent generation, of course, went through world wars and the Great Depression, all valid reasons for why they would have scored 45 out of 100. Experts said the well-being decline of young millennials was being driven by factors including rising inflation, forcing up the cost of necessities, combined with rising social media use, which leaves many feeling isolated and disconnected. So let's kind of start right there. So of course, to be a millennial in the United States of America means you're part of the most prosperous demographic, probably of all time. I think it's very easy to say of all time. The most affluent nation in the history of the world. And to be a female, thanks to Obama, women are considered a minority group as well. So why is it that the most secure and the most affluent generation of women just so happen to have a decline in the well-being index? The first reason we have here is rising inflation. It's true. Everybody understands how bad our economy is right now. You see our president just so happens to allow for the hemorrhaging of money here in our country. Every other day, there's a multi-billion-dollar foreign aid package for another nation. He seems to be taking care of everything else. But the problems we have here that can kind of alleviate the issues that we're having economically. Gas prices are always fluctuating, but for the most part, they're remaining high. The price of groceries, there was just a viral post about there was a scene in Home Alone 2 where Kevin purchased groceries, and they're comparing the prices to modern grocery day prices, and it's unbelievable how far inflation has taken us. And you know what? There's one thing, Mr. Bernie Sanders, as funny and as crazy as he looks, said that I always quote. He always said that it's expensive to be poor, and that I can always agree with. In no way am I a socialist, but that is true. It is very expensive to be poor, and those who are in the lower income, lower middle class brackets, you will feel the ebbs and flows of our economy and inflation. The next cause is social media use. So this is one that seems to hurt females more than males. There are a lot of studies on this, and basically females, when they hop on the social media, it's very easy for them to compare themselves and tear themselves apart, pick apart at their looks and their self-worth, because every time they open their phone, they're seeing another beautiful girl with another perfect figure. And of course, most of these pictures are photoshopped and they're altered in some way or form. But especially if you're a young girl, you don't know this. You don't know how to discern between it. And there are adult women who can't discern between the two. That's the whole point of having Photoshop and other photo editors. But they're comparing themselves and they're just killing themselves mentally and emotionally because you can't live up to a false expectation. A lot of social media posts, people don't realize they're being flooded with AI personalities. There's fake AI generated females that are designed to be perfectly beautiful according to Western standards. And a lot of people can't tell if they're fake or they're real. And young girls compare themselves to this and they hate it. They have poor self-image. They don't think they're worthy. They grow up with these defeated mindsets, and that contributes to them not feeling attractive enough or worthy enough to try to form long-standing relationships. And then also it stated that it leaves a lot of individuals feeling isolated and disconnected. That's the irony of the term social media is now that we have social media that allows us to stay connected online, we've never been farther apart as human beings. Loneliness is a legitimate epidemic in our country. More and more people are living isolated lives, and they're only connected online, which is not a real connection. It's just a way to digest information and keep up to date with what people are doing from afar. Whereas in previous generations, you had to pick up a phone to call someone. You had to write a letter and have them write you one back. You had to go outside and rub shoulders with people. You would meet up with your friends and you would discuss world events. You would discuss social issues. You would discuss faith. You would discuss families, goals, passions, ambitions. But people don't do this anymore because now somebody will just post it. It's like, oh, well, there's no need to have a soul connecting conversation anymore because I see that he posted, he's here, he's there, he's moving this way. We're an isolated generation. And I think that perfectly transitions to this article here by Evie. This one was published January 4th of 2023, and it went viral because it's telling everybody this is the trajectory we're on. This is a very real reality that if you can ignore it, if you want to, but this is going to be a reality for a lot of women. It says that 40% of women, 45% of women are expected to be single and childless by 2030. 45% are expected to be single, meaning no relationship, no committed relationship. And remember, females are the more social beings of the two of us. And then childless by 2030. So if 45% of women will be childless, a lot of women derive, not all, I know there are some women who tend to gravitate more towards career. So that's a minority of women, but they exist. But a supermajority of women, they find their life's purpose in family, in being a mother and being a wife. And majority of women, at the end of the day, they are in line with what their female software is calling them to do, which is have children, have a husband, be a wife. These are all natural these are all natural desires that women have, but we see that the well-being score of women is declining. We see that relationships are on the decline. We see that child rearing is on the decline. And at the end of the day, you know what? Everybody's the author of their own life. If there are women who want to go down this path of not having a family, being career oriented, that is their choice. That is their choice. But on a societal level, it will be disastrous because men can put their head down and just work. We're designed to be providers. We're designed for this. But women, not so much. But at the end of the day, like I said, we're all the authors of our own lives. And Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos just said it in separate interviews, individually, of course, that we need to produce more children. We're falling behind. We're bottlenecking as a society because our population is not producing enough children. With that being said, you guys let me know your thoughts below. What do you think are some other contributing factors for why the well-being index score for millennial women has declined and why 45% of women are expected to be single and childless by 2030? Go ahead, just let me know your thoughts down in the comments. This is a very interesting, very perplexing, but very grim reality for our country.